Mr. Producer, I'm laughing because I see Joni Ernst and Lindsey Graham are sort of changing their tunes. Have you noticed this? When it comes to Pete Hegseth. So the media, including Fox, are reporting MAGA backlash. It's the Levinites backlash, which includes MAGA, of course. Right, Mr. Producer? Nobody was taking on Joni Ernst or Lindsey Graham. I did it on Blaze. I did it behind this microphone. I did it this weekend on Fox. There's millions and millions of you who've had enough of this stuff, and I certainly am among them. That's what's happening. The power of this format and the other platforms, because of you, we the people, is so significant that they have to ignore it. They have to ignore it in the Trump election. They have to ignore it in certain primary battles. They have to ignore it during the Tea Party. And so they continue to ignore it. But we don't care if they ignore it or not. I just point it out because it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I've been posting about Ernst. I've been posting about Lindsey Graham. I've called them both out. Both of them are well received on conservative TV shows by conservative hosts and so, but not by me. Not until they get their heads right on this. So the backlash, as they put it, that's we the people. And we talked about this, and we talked about we the people speaking out. We the people making it clear that Ernst and Graham and others are trying to sabotage Hegseth's nomination, and making it clear that we want a roll call vote come hell or high water so we know who votes how. That's what we did. That's what we said. So I want to once again correctly give credit where credit is due to you. Thank you. People will never understand this program. They'll never understand our relationship, you and the audience and me, that goes back decades. They'll never comprehend it, or they'll ignore it, or they're jealous of it, or they have some other mental issues that I really cannot address for them. But you get the point. You get the point. MAGA backlash. Yes, that's us. We did it right here. They were writing off Hegseth. They started it on Kash Patel, and we hit the brakes right here. Starting on radio, then Blaze, then on Fox. That's what we did. We'll see what happens in the end. There's a long way to go. Those hearings and all the rest of it, as you know. This Luigi Mangione. There is an entire cult now being built up celebrating this man. Celebrating him. I can only imagine his parents, his family are absolutely stunned and shocked that he would do this. Apparently he disappeared a few weeks ago. Apparently his mother told the police they couldn't find him and so forth. So he fell off the rocker. That's what he did. Could be 100 reasons why. Could be one reason. Could be no reason. I don't know. So I don't condemn his family. But I do condemn those who are now celebrating him on the left and attacking our healthcare system for the alleged maladies that he suffered. We have the greatest healthcare system on the face of the earth. It's imperfect. I don't know of anything that is perfect, any human being that's perfect, any institution that's perfect. But if you compare it to Canada and France and London, and Britain, and any other healthcare system on the face of the earth, it's superior by a massive magnitude. It's getting worse because of more government regulation, more government interference, and so we're seeing more and more of this socialist healthcare bleeding into our system, and more aggressively under the Obama-Biden and Biden-Harris regimes. And the answer to the centralization of healthcare decisions and the centralization of insurance is decentralization and competition. But that's so old school, you understand. I mean, I went through hell 3.5 months ago. I'll be perfectly honest with you. In my injury. And I certainly haven't gone through what other people have gone through. People who have cancer and they're suffering as I speak. They lose limbs. They're suffering as I speak. They have brain injuries, horrendous back injuries. I had a 100% tear on my tendon, on my right quad. And I was basically bedbound for 2 months. I mean, I'd try and get out and so forth. Learning how to walk again. I'm not saying this to whine and complain. I'm saying pain is a terrible thing. And the funny thing about me in my case is none of these painkillers even work. People get hooked on Oxy. I took some Oxy. It did nothing, so I threw it away. Zero. And that's the nature of the beast. And it can do funny things to your head. But it doesn't lead you to kill people. To blame the CEO of a major, if not the largest, health insurance company on the face of the earth. I look at all the people they help save. I look at all the people where the quality of life has improved. When I go to pick up my medicines, once a month or so at the pharmacy, they're such nice people. And they almost apologize for the price. Here I am, I'm picking up these medicines. Some of them are truly life-saving for your heart. In some cases, eyesight. People with diabetes. They're coming up with new drugs and so forth and so on. I just think we've gotten used to, in many instances, of this stuff just being there. We've one family member, wonderful. Is there a drug for this, or can't a doctor do that, or can't this, or can't that, or sometimes there's not an answer. There's just not. But a lot of times there are answers. There are answers. We need more doctors, but did you know that the federal government controls the number of doctors there are in our system? Do you know they control the number of medical students there are? Why? That's one way to bring down expenses and allow competition and the best to rise to the top. Why is that? The government controls almost half of all medical activity and expenses in this country. And so they control pricing, qualifications, and we can go on and on and on. The role is huge. The role is huge. And as prices go up, most of those in the medical profession, with a few exceptions, earn less and less. These are the working doctors, the working nurses. You think they're all millionaires? They're not. And they break their ass. And they not only go to college, they go to medical school, then they have to have fellowships and internships and residencies. It never ends. It never ends. And so the vast majority of these people are highly committed to the health care of you and me. I just don't think we necessarily appreciate it enough. And sometimes there are things that cannot be done. That's why I don't throw in with, big pharma and the big this and the big that. All this Marxist claptrap. The big problem is the big government. These medicines that come on board, most of them take 20 years. Most medical development, or I should say drug development, fails. They've spent $50, $60, $70 billion looking for some way to control or to stop Alzheimer's. They've essentially come up with nothing. All that money is spent. It has to come from somewhere. It's not going to come from a mom and pop laboratory. any more than the electrical system we have in our country could have. The transportation system, the car, the train, steel. It takes a concentration of private wealth. Because the investments, the capital investments are so high. But see, by the time you explain something like this, people are rolling their eyes, the profits, the rip-offs, and so forth and so on. So it makes it very, very difficult. I can admit, government's not profitable. They lose hundreds of billions of dollars a year. It's not profitable. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year. And they waste hundreds of billions of dollars a year that can be actually put to good use. This kid or guy, it doesn't really matter why he did what he did. What he did was horrendous. He murdered in cold blood an innocent man. But this culture that is built up around this, that underlays the internet, that underlays the left, attacking our private entities. The answer is always more government. This is a dangerous thing. It's a very dangerous thing. He will be removed from Pennsylvania. He will wind up in New York, no matter how many days his lawyer tries to delay that. He has been charged with murder in New York. The Pennsylvania prosecutor says, okay, and when you're done, you bring him back here. We have gun charges. That's a smart play, just to make sure everything lands. And executing that CEO had a wife. He had 2 kids. And the idea that there's a whole culture out there that celebrates this is very sick. This is very bad. This is very dangerous.